This is a similar request here with the addition of a second request. This is called the Borough Subdivision number 9557 Tentative Map Extension and Development Agreement Amendment. This is for a project known as the Burroughs Property. It's located on East Cypress Road, east of Delaney Park, and west of Jersey Island Road. And this is a close-up of that property. It's a triangular-shaped property. The red line there indicates the boundary between the City of Oakley and unincorporated Contra Costa County. The original project was, just like the last one, approved in 2021. It includes 43.24 acres, 208 residential lots, and there was an existing development agreement that included a first amendment to that development agreement. And this is just a picture, or it's a copy of the tentative map that shows how the lots were divided with that approval that happened in 2021. The request, and I do want to point out that this is a jointly owned site. The City of Oakley is an owner of a part of the site. Westgate Ventures is controlling the other half. So this is a joint application. The request is to extend this tentative map approval 6 additional years, which would set the expiration date to May 25th, 2030. Some of you may do the math and think, well, May 25th, 2030 minus 6 is May 25th, 2024. That is right. The way that the Subdivision Map Act works is when these requests for tentative map extensions come in, they're automatically extended for 60 days or whenever an approval is made. So this map is still valid. The 6 years also comes from a maximum number of discretionary approvals allowed by the decision-making body, in this case, the City Council. Some maps, especially after the 2007 housing crisis, there were several statutory extensions or automatic extensions that occurred. So we have maps that were approved in 2007, 2008 that are still in play today. However, as time went on, there were less and less automatic extensions. So now we're kind of getting to the point where maps that were approved more recently are required to go through these extensions. And they're fairly common. We do quite a few of them. These developments are quite often very market dependent. And a lot of development in the city is out in areas that don't have a ton of infrastructure. So costs can be quite high to get these projects started. The second part of this is to extend an existing development agreement that would extend the term of that or amend the term of the development agreement to expire on whatever date the council ultimately extends the tentative map to, should they wish to do that. In this case, the request would be to extend it to May 25th, 2030. So the proposed resolution includes a recommendation for the City Council from the Planning Commission to approve a 6-year extension to the tentative map and to amend the term of the development agreement to match that. Kind of went over this during the last slide, but again, there's up to 6 years of discretionary approvals allowed on tentative maps. Staff does recommend approval of this. The property is currently out on the market trying to be sold to a future developer. It's important to keep this map alive so that that project can still move forward. As you know, the city's working on frontage improvements along that property as part of the total plan to widen and make East Cypress Road a much safer road, and development of this property would result in reimbursement to the city for those improvements. So this is an important project to the city and obviously to the stakeholders in play. Should the Planning Commission approve this resolution, staff would take this request to the City Council. That would include a resolution for the tentative map extension and an ordinance for the development agreement amendment. That concludes my staff report. Happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Strillo. Just for informational purposes, how many such extensions can be requested by a developer?
So
by the applicant, I apologize.
Yeah, they can request more than one. However, the total number of years those extensions can total is 6.
So this
You
is the
can do-
maximum.
This is a one-shot deal,
Some amount.
yes.
Got it. Thank you. Do we have any questions from the commission? To Director Strelo or to our applicant? Is applicant present? No? Okay, thank you. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. If we don't have any questions for the applicant, we will open the public hearing. And I do have a speaker request form in front of me. Mr. Jim Williams, please approach the dais. You have 3 minutes, and the timer is right in front of you.
I'm just a neighbor to the south, and I want to see if you guys will think about us when you're putting the sewer in out there, and see if you can throw us a bone and throw us some sewers that way, and put them up out of the ground a little bit so where we can work with them instead of leaving them 20 feet deep. So I know it's a little early, but if, you know, going forward with your project, if you guys can, nobody on that side has sewer, so we're all on septic tanks, and the Contra Costa Water was out there a while back, worried about the water and everything, so I figured you guys could throw us a bone and throw us some sewers that way, even if we have to pay for them.
Right. No, thank you. Appreciate that. Is this the end of your comment, or do you have?
No,
anything
that's
else
it.
to add? No, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm not really sure if, city, can.
What I would
Someone-
recommend, I'm happy to give, is it Mr. Jim Miller?
Williamson.
Jim Williams, my business card, so you can contact me. I'll put you in contact with the proper department here at the city for future discussions.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you. We also did receive an online comment, which will be entered into the minutes of the meeting. And having no further comment cards in front of me, we'll close the public hearing and call for deliberation. Do we have a motion?
I'm sure you said this in your presentation, but the improvements that are so important to the city are on East Cypress, is that correct?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
The improvements that you were talking about that are going to be a part of this, that the city will benefit from, those are curb gutter sidewalk, I assume, on East Cypress?
Yeah, that's full development of and widening of the East Cypress Road along this
Street lights
frontage.
and so on?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, thank you for clarifying that. It's really good information for the members of the public. Very good. Do we have any further questions, or are we ready to entertain a motion?
We'll move approval that we adopt a resolution recommending the city council adopt a resolution making findings and approving a tentative map extension for the project known as Borough Subdivision 9557 and adopt an ordinance approving a development agreement amendment to extend the term of the existing development agreement as conditioned.
Thank you. We have a motion from Commissioner Krieg. Do we have a second?
Second.
So seconded by Commissioner Price. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those against, hearing none. Motion passes unanimously. Item 4.5. Mr. Gorman, that's going to be again you. This is in regards to golf bowling practice facility and outdoor display of golf carts. We have design review and conditional use permits. Looks like 3 of them. And Mr. Gorman.
Thank you so much, Chair. I appreciate it. This last public hearing item is golf ball and practice facility and outdoor display of golf carts, design review and conditional use permits. All right, for the project location, we're in a similar area to 2 other projects here along Main Street. It's a busy area. And for this property, here is a closer view of it at Almond Tree Lane and Main Street, the southwest corner there. It's a 1-acre property that has previously had a gardening nursery, first developed in 2007. The property is surrounded by residential uses on 3 sides, and across the street is the 4700 Main Street storage facility and commercial spaces. The property is designated commercial in Oakley's general plan and zoned RB, Retail Business District. Former uses. Amid the 2008 global financial crisis, a conditional use permit amendment permitted the display and sale of up to 5 used vehicles within the nursery's parking lot, limited to a 2-year period. However, this ancillary used car operation persisted beyond the expiration date. In 2014, a new application sought to reinstate the previously approved used vehicle sales, resulting in a further amended conditional use permit. This permit allowed the display and sale of 4 used cars. Stringent conditions were imposed, limiting permissible signage for pricing stickers affixed to the vehicle's windshields. These previous approvals have since expired. All right, now for a lay of the property, which is, I'm gonna ask that we use these terms because it's such a large property, but the approximately 2,200 square foot primary building on the property currently houses a retail golf supply store, Golf Ballin. To the rear of the main building is a fenced 20,000 square foot outdoor area that was originally designed as a nursery plant display yard. So here from left to right, we have a storage lot in the back. We have the rear yard. We have the primary building where retail sales and indoor golf simulator takes place. And we have the parking area. Code compliance history. In July 2023, Golf Ballin inquired about moving to 4701 Main. The city informed the operator that indoor retail was permitted, but a practice facility required a conditional use permit. Golf cart displays were not allowed in front, and the new structures needed building permits. Despite regular notice in person and via mail, the operator displayed golf carts and began constructing the practice facility without permits. A timeline of events is in the staff report, but here we have the application going to the Planning Commission. Now for today's, the application going in front of you tonight, we have 3 aspects to it. The first is design review for the outdoor golf practice facility. Now, what is design review? Not a term you run into every day. That's where you do a certain development in town, whether it's a new house or improvements to a commercial property, and typically a Bay Area government's going to want to review the design of that and that it conforms to local regulations. The second is a conditional use permit. We have uses that are called by right, and that's like the retail sales. That you just need a business license and you can sell. Here, there are certain uses on properties that a community says, hey, we want a public hearing where neighbors are noticed and special consideration is put in and findings are reviewed. And so that's the case here for an outdoor practice facility. Then finally, a conditional use permit for the outdoor display of merchandise. Here, the display of golf carts in front of the primary building. All right. When a decision is made by a review body, there's actual contents to the approval documents, and those contents are that the local regulations require that the decision-making body find certain aspects of the project are true, or that they conform to specific requirements. Pursuant to Oakley's design review ordinance, this proposal for a practice facility requires Planning Commission review. The Planning Commission the Planning Commission shall consider 4 categories of design elements for each design review application, including this one. Those 4 elements paraphrased are site planning, including building siting, setback, and orientation. The next one is architecture, including massing and grouping, facades, entries and roofs, materials, and colors. The next one is the landscaping and site elements, and the next one is streetscapes. Then conditional use permits, they have a series of 5 findings that you are to consider. That the site for the proposed use is adequate in size and shape to accommodate the use, the practice facility and the golf carts in this case. That the site for the proposed use relates to the streets and highways, adequate in width, that they are adequate in width and pavement type, that the proposed use will be arranged, designed, constructed, operated, and maintained so as to be compatible with the intended character of the area and shall not change the essential character of the area from that intended by the general plan and the applicable zoning ordinances. that the proposed use provides for the continued growth and orderly development of the community and is consistent with the various elements and objectives of the general plan. And finally, thanks for your patience, that the proposed use will comply with the California Environmental Quality Act. So that's the way we're measuring projects as they come in. Now for this proposal. This proposal here is a site plan on the left-hand side of the golf practice facility. It includes a 960 square foot metal accessory structure which has been constructed. It's there now without a building permit. It's open on one side and designed to be converted into a series of netted driving bays with 2 layers of netting. A large putting green in the center of the yard around an existing fountain. A smaller putting green and 2 bunkers in the northwest section of the rear yard for practice there. Walking pathways connecting all the features. 1 large pad and multiple small pads for displaying golf carts for sale. 8-foot fencing made up of wood posts, 8-foot plus fencing made up of wood posts and fabric. Privacy screening between the driving bays and the homes to the north. And a large white vinyl tent. On the right-hand side, you'll see the driving bay structure there. I'll just give you one more moment to look at that. All right, staff analysis on this application. Just like the other ones, we provide an analysis in our staff report to you. And we have most aspects of the proposed practice facility can meet the required findings. The yard area is adequately sized and designed to accommodate nearly all components of the practice facility. Its large dimensions, extensive fencing, and ample on-site parking ensure the location can suitably house a facility of the proposed scale. The design of the practice facility is found to provide quality solutions to the aspects of design that the municipal code requires the Planning Commission review. The proposed materials and paint are of sufficient quality for commercial purposes. And so for almost all this project, we find it clearly meets the findings for approval. The yard is quite large and it's good for a practice facility in plain terms. There are compatibility concerns with the driving practice bays located within 100 feet of residential properties and the proposal for a display of an unlimited number of golf carts. Here's a picture with the practice facility outlined on the right-hand side, the driving bays, I mean specifically. And then on the left-hand side are the nearby homes. The loud noise generated by driving bays, often exceeding 100 decibels, is found to be incompatible with the nearby residential properties. Regarding the request for the outdoor display of golf carts in front of the property, this component is found to meet the necessary findings if the number of display carts is limited. A restricted cart display in front of the primary building would ensure that adequate parking is maintained, landscaped areas are maintained, and a business appearance is compatible with the surrounding neighborhood. All right, for the final section, we go over special conditions. For each application requiring Planning Commission approval, city staff include proposed conditions in a draft resolution. In this case, 2 specific conditions are deemed necessary to get the project to meet the required findings for approval in our local municipal code. The first proposed condition mandates that any driving practice occur within an insulated, fully enclosed structure, and the second condition limits golf cart displays in front of the business to 3. When considering special conditions, care is taken to avoid putting an undue burden on a business operator. In this case, city staff first reviewed golf facilities both within our local area and within cities regarded as golf-friendly to explore existing conditions elsewhere and see if we can find some alternative solutions. Locally, driving ranges like Shadow Lakes in Brentwood and Oakhurst Golf Club in Clayton maintain at least 250 feet separation from homes, which can be interpreted as having accepted an assumed risk by building simultaneously with the golf courses. Further research into cities deemed golf-friendly by golf publications, including Scottsdale, Orlando, and Las Vegas, revealed most practice facilities in those cities exceed 300 feet from residences, with the few exceptions within 100 feet being exclusively indoor practice facilities. This review allowed staff to conclude that the proposed condition to have only indoor driving practice was the appropriate solution to allow the project to meet the required findings for approval, and that there were not examples of successful alternatives. Here in this picture, you have Shadow Lakes on the left-hand side with the 300-foot separation. And then over on the right is our typical indoor facility in the United States, less than 100 feet, but indoors. This is Golf Tech in Las Vegas. Environmental review. This project is categorically exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act pursuant to Section 15301 existing facilities of the CEQA guidelines. This section exempts projects when the proposed project involves negligible or no expansion of use beyond the existing at the time of the lead agency's determination. The proposed use as conditioned here would not represent a significant expansion of the existing retail golf supply use. Staff recommendation. Staff recommends that the Planning Commission adopt the resolution approving the project titled Golf Ball and Practice Facility and Outdoor Display of Golf Carts, design review and conditional use permits as conditioned. That concludes my staff report. I can answer any questions you have on the report. The applicant is here and would like to talk about their project, and they can answer any questions you have as well. I appreciate it. Thank you, Commission.
Thank you, Mr. Gorman. Okay, so just to clarify, when we say as conditioned, that means indoor driving range, fully insulated, right?
That is correct. The draft resolution includes the two conditions we went over here.
All right. So it's not going to essentially embed on the people living nearby, right, on those residences, okay, and their quality of life. The other question is, the condition also means only 3 golf carts, up to 3 golf carts in the front, correct?
That is correct. That is our proposed condition.
That is your proposed conditions. Got it. Thank you. Thank you for clarifying that. Do we have any questions for Mr. Gorman, or would we like to invite the applicant, please come to the dais and we'll have questions for
I
them.
have questions, but they can wait.
They can wait? Okay, sounds good. Commissioner Price, do you have any questions right now? Okay, sounds good. So would applicant please like to address the dais? Hey.
So basically, the only thing I really have to say on that is that written in stone? Because I heard a used car lot got 5 cars or maybe 4 cars, and those were in the parking lot. I have a lot of adjacent space that's just dead space in my lot that's not being used at all, that golf carts can be parked there. I get it. We don't want 30, 40 carts out there. I would just like to have 4 to 6 golf carts out there, right? 3 is, if you're trying to sell something, 3 of them doesn't do as well. That doesn't catch people's eye. The reason I pay a huge premium for this property is because it's on Main Street.
Correct.
So if I have to park every golf cart that I sell, which is half of my revenue, in the back, it kind of like, since I've been open, it's affected me tremendously. And then the other thing was, is there a way to show or to evaluate the fact that my high-grade, double-layered, custom, no-seamed netting will provide enough to keep the balls in there, and that we could at least test the noise, not assume they can hear, because I understand we have to do our research off what's out there, but just because there isn't anything like my business doesn't mean there shouldn't be anything like my business. Golf is an outdoor sport. I don't want it just indoors. Otherwise, I would have got an abandoned grocery store and just made it all indoors. I like the fact that it will be indoors and outdoors. Also, the building, it's a carport. So I didn't think it was a building. It's a carport. And I'm very terrible at doing these types of things as far as, not to talk anything about other cities, but Antioch didn't have to worry about nothing. I never had to come up here, never worried about anything. I was in Brentwood. I had 50 golf carts. I had a practice facility. didn't have to deal with any of this. So I'm not saying that it's worse or wrong or right. I'm just saying I'm not good at this part, and I'm learning the due process and what we need to do and everything like that. So I appreciate you guys being lenient with me as far as the fact that I don't handle this as well as some other business owners may, as far as getting permits and everything like that. So I just would like to know if this is what we're saying and that's how it has to be, or is there a middle ground at all with the golf carts and making that structure fully enclosed?
All right, thank you for your presentation. And I'm sorry, I did not catch your last name. First name, Brendan?
Brandon Johnson.
Johnson. Okay, thank you, Mr. Johnson. Okay, questions from our commissioners? Commissioner Price, you have a question?
I'm not ready.
Not a moment. Okay. Do we have questions? You'll wait. Oh, you'll wait for the deliberation process. Okay. Well, you have the applicant right here. You don't want to ask him?
I'll answer any question.
I'll tell you, I'm a little concerned that you said, is this carved in stone? Yes, it is. That's the point of the conditions of approval.
No problem. I've never done anything like this, so I have to ask you if I don't know. So there's not really, you don't have to be concerned. I'm just asking a question so I can be educated on it, right? I don't know if you say something and then I say something. I don't know how this works. That's all it was. If it's got to be the way if I can only have 3 cards, then I only have 3. I mean, I don't have a choice.
Maybe I'm not understanding, can't carts be put behind the building, out of public view?
Drive down Main Street and see that cart from behind.
But if they know that that's where they could buy a cart,
So if you drive by Ford, are all their cars in back of their place, or are they out?
pretty
front?
much, yeah, pretty much. I mean, when you go to a car dealer, you say, this is what I want, and they go find it and bring it to you. That's the way I've always done it. I don't pick out a car based on what I see driving down the street. Sorry, I
Well,
don't
then-
mean to.
Then you would be a small percentage. Every car lot that I've ever drawn by, and everybody in here has seen, has all their cars out front. Now, they might have one that's being cleaned or detailed or just came in the back, but they're all where people, because if you drive by, oh, I like that, that looks nice. And I understand, I don't want all 30 of my golf carts out there. And if 3 is all I can have, then I'm willing to, I have to do that. So, but I just ask for a little more. If they could have a used car lot with 5 cars that are bigger, right? And these are carts that are much smaller. You'd think it's a smaller object and I can have less of them. So that just seems a little funny to me, but either way, I don't make the rules. I just have to abide by them. So I was just asking.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Johnson. Okay, if there are no more questions at this time from the commission, let's open a public hearing because we did receive quite a few comments. So let's see. Let's begin with a few speaker cards in front of me. Mr. David Delgado. Oh, you're not ready yet? Okay, no problem, David. All right. Mr. Victor Hoke? Hoka? Oh, thank you. I apologize.
I might make a little annoyance here when you start, hearing this, because that's what it would be like when you hear a golf ball whack, even snap, pierce, break. I played golf since I was 7. Bethel Island, Antioch, or my courses I trained. Junior Golf League I was in and everything. So I know it's like, the first thing is that, yes, I also was in construction. I did a lot of gas stations. All blueprints had to be approved for landscaping before you ever make changes. Anything. Put a sign in place, needs to be height and possibly 7 feet in compared to a regular residential fence that could be 3 feet high, 3 feet back, and then could go 7 feet. Difference. So visual view, Main Street, exiting left and right, people are going over 40, 45 miles an hour. We're looking at chaos. We had a few accidents back during COVID. Teslas almost went through the sound wall. Lucky one car landed on the nursery instead. Okay, so I have those past pictures. So there's report of a lot of things that have happened during the COVID time.
Right.
So number one thing is that the noise ordinance of when there was taco trucks and all that stuff on the weekends, no permits or expired permits, nothing being re-granted, code enforcement knows all that. Timeline of operations, Quiet and peace time, residence is so close. Yes, I know about decibels. Even if you look in the vehicle code, the penal code of decibels, 98 decibels on a vehicle has to be measured approximately, 28 inches from the exhaust pipe, not from 100 feet. So if you want to look that up, please look that up and check back with me on that, because I believe I saw that. I had to look up penal codes on stuff because I'm also a security guard and I was a patrol officer. When this company came into business, I was doing 12-hour night shifts, 6 to 6. Now, how am I supposed to sleep during the daytime when I actually had music blasting when I have Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night to add into my shifts? Insomnia, chaos. Do I need it? No. Now, all of a sudden, he has this, I do love the statue, the blowing up guy waving like this. That's cute. But the fan was, the first time he put it on, was up till 2 o'clock in the morning. I was like, why didn't the groundkeeper guy unplug it? Yeah, but now we're hearing it daytime, and it does echo off of the wall and the cement. So I got a minute left. Okay, another thing also, the hitting bays, the way they face towards the, yes, the way they face towards the residents is that the snapping and all the stuff, if it's not closed in anyways by cement block and all that stuff, we're gonna hear it. It's like making a gun range, okay? So the thing is that those balls get hit. If you've got a big Bertha club, it's gonna whack almost 300 miles. In a short distance, it'll start wearing those nets out. And you go through windows. That's what happened Brentwood Golf Course, people used to have broken windows and all that stuff because they live so close. So people had to learn how to hit a golf ball right. And I'd slice it. Another thing also, night lights, the one that's shining, it's hitting all our master bedrooms. My next door neighbor, he couldn't make it tonight. He's really exhausted. He's a carpenter in the union. And he's happy to move from Pittsburgh to Oakley and loves it here. Another thing also, golf carts are nice. I do love them. They have style, Rolls Royces and all that stuff. He displays the good ones. I'm game, but sorry.
I'm sorry you're out of time.
But yeah, get back to me on anything. That'd be great.
Thank you for your comment. Appreciate it. All right. I have next speaker, Ahmed. And I didn't catch the last name. Same last name? Okay, wonderful. Well, Mr. Ahmed, you have 3 minutes.
I'll make it quick to the point. You know, as he was saying about 3 cars, I don't think it's fair. When you go to car dealerships, nothing against you or your opinion. If I go to a used car dealership and I only see 3 cars, I'm like, waste of time. Let me go to another one. When I see 10 cars, I'm like, I'm more likely to find something that I like. Same thing with anything. The more options you have, the more you're intrigued to actually go in. If I go to somewhere that's going out of business, I'm not gonna find anything I like. If I go somewhere they're just open and I'm like, okay, let me walk in. So I think 3 is not enough. 6 being nice. 6 is actually being generous. I would have said 10, to be honest with you. You know, to operate a business, you have to have selection. When it comes to the noise, test it. See what's going on. Go during the day. You know, have a limit during the weekend. Tell him, you know, by on Fridays, Saturdays, operate till midnight. On Sunday and during the weekend, tell him 10 o'clock. Shut it down. He'll operate with you. Don't find the guy. Tax him. The more he makes, the more the city makes. But if you keep finding him, if he keeps paying fines here and there, you take him out of business. And then who gains? No one. Let the guy, give him a chance. Let him make some money. Let him make a living. The more he makes, the more the city makes. That's it.
All right, thank you, Mr. Ahmed. Okay, next one, we have Terry Johnson. Ms. Johnson, you're on. 3 minutes.
Hi, I want to say to your point, car dealerships do have cars in the back, but you know what a Chevy F-150 looks like. So they have a blue one out front and a red one out front, but in the back they got the white one, the yellow one, and the green one. So golf carts are all different. There's not 2 golf carts the same. They're different years, different models. He's selling used golf carts. Very few are brand new. And even, I bet you couldn't name me a brand new golf cart. You don't know the brands, you don't know the style, you don't, so they need to be displayed for people to be able to see the choices that they have. I agree, the nicer ones should be out front, the lower value maybe in the back, but he does need more than 3. I mean, we have open space in the front that doesn't take up any parking space for golf carts because they're very small. And to the other point about the hitting bays, the netting is basically like what's called the pitching, for the baseballs. What are they called? What? Batting cages, that's the word. So it's just like a batting cage. It's all netted in for the balls to stay contained. So the noise, like I would say, go ahead and test it out, but it's basically a larger batting cage is what the hitting bays are. As far as all the permitting and the fines, we had a lot of freedom in Brentwood. I'm sure you guys have seen the facility in Brentwood. It was there for 7 years. We didn't have issues. We didn't have issues in Brentwood. Everybody loved the facility, so now we're in Oakley. We would love for all the residents to come and enjoy the facility in Oakley. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's see, Mr. David Delgado, are you ready? All right, excellent. Please approach the dais. You have 3 minutes.
Well, I just want a few moments. I know this is mainly about the display of golf carts and the condition of use of permits. But if I may say, being Oakley residents, I just want to bring up the fact that how important it is to have a recreational facility in our city. It's a blessing to us. Speaking from me and my wife, part owner of a self-defense business, and we're also bringing that to this city of Oakley in the near future in July. First of all, I wanted to ask, have any of you been into golf balling? No? Beautiful. It's beautiful inside. It's good for the community. So my point is, just before, I know it's about the permits, but I just wanted to say, once you guys get that all ironed out, how important it is to have as many recreational facilities as in our community. It brings better quality of life to our community. So the more that we can keep kids out of trouble, have someone to go to. I met Brandon personally, a couple of years back, and he has people that teach golf lessons, but him personally himself, great with kids and great golf lesson person. And it's actually a quality to this city to have this business. Once you get everything ironed out, just want to mention that how important it is. The more you have swim lessons, golf cuts, kayak fishing, everything, and especially golf is so popular here. It would be a blessing to have this business in our community. Just wanted to say.
Thank you so much, Mr. Delgado. Okay, I don't have any more speaker cards in front of me. We did receive a couple of online comments, which were vastly focusing on the same area, which is noise, right? So we'll close the public hearing at this point and move to deliberation between the council on this matter.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
if I may,
Director Strelo.
I tried to get a request to speak up there. I just wanted to add a little bit of context and information just for background purposes.
Great.
This
Thank you.
isn't, thank you, yeah. And this isn't to address any specific comments or anything. I just want to point out a little bit of the zoning background and add that context to it. So as Mr. Gorman pointed out during the presentation, this is a retail business district zoning. Outdoor inventory of automobile or automobile sales is a prohibited use in this district. It would be a conditionally permitted use in a general commercial zoning district. It's a nuance that planners are aware of and property owners that know what their zoning is aware of. But this business could not, this site, I should say, would not be subject to a conditional use permit for, let's say, a new vehicle sales, sort of like what everyone's talking about here, a Chevy or a Ford or whatever it may be. Again, that's not to comment on any of the other comments. I just wanted to provide that context because the comparison of a vehicle sales has been spoken about. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Strelo. Okay. Commissioner Krieg.
I completely agree with what I think Mr. Delgado said, that having a recreational facility like this in Oakley really adds to the quality of life for us all. That said, I have a couple of concerns, and that mostly having to do with, and I know you said you have trouble with paperwork and don't understand the process, and perhaps staff can work with you to make sure that what has to happen happens. But looking down the list of the past, non-compliance with various building permits, and other requirements, that's of concern to me. And I would hope that going forward, you would pay attention to the Ts and the Is and cross them and dot them and make sure everything's done properly. But like I said, I think that a facility like this is so different and so unique for our town that it's going to add to the quality of all of our lives, whether you play golf or not. I like the ideas that you had for bringing kids in to teach them to play golf. I am concerned about the noise, and it sounds like the conditions that staff put together will address that. And is that, how busy do you get when there's people in there doing golf balling? That's a I don't know if that's going to be enough. I would hope it's not enough. That would be a good thing for you.
As far as parking carts and,
No, parking customers.
oh,
Yep.
I would be astonished if there was 19 cars in my parking lot.
That would be a good thing.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I would assume that's.
Through the chair, the municipal code, if it's all right, to provide some context on parking. The municipal code sets a required amount of parking spaces for every use. The retail section by itself needs fewer spots than are there now, the 19. But as you make a project more ambitious, the code requires more spots to address that.
Correct.
Our interpretation going through the calculations in the municipal code is that the proposed project needs to use all 19 spaces, whether in actuality they are needed every day or not. And that is why we are not able to permit golf carts, say, in the parking spots, because the code requires they be used as available parking spaces.
Makes sense.
Thank you for sharing that information with the public. Appreciate it.
One other thing, Mr. Chair, just to remind, although we're not streaming, this meeting is still being recorded. So if there are any follow-up questions for the applicant, we would ask that those be questioned, and then the applicant come up to the podium to speak into the microphone on those responses.
Thank you for pointing that out. Yeah, we also do not really want to have a conversation because we're already in deliberation process, right? But yeah, if you would like to address the council, or sorry, commission, please be present at the microphone. Thank you. Commissioner Krieg, I'll let you
That's
continue.
it.
Is that it? Okay, Commissioner Price, do you have any questions, concerns, comments?
Looking at all the conditional comments that they have to address on here, 32 of them, is that pretty typical with a business that's coming into Oakley and operating?
Yeah, this is for a conditional use permit and design review, and it also includes 2 separate uses for conditional use permits. So, normally we would have 80 some odd conditions of approval on a new project. Since this project doesn't include development as much as like a new project would, where you have street dedication and road frontage improvements, it's hard to say whether it's typical or not. But since it is a design review application and it does include 2 conditional use permits, I wouldn't say it's an abnormally large number of conditions. So it's appropriate for the use in the proposal.
And did these conditions that got put on there take care of the neighbors that with the things that we had coming in on neighbors talking about noise and that?
We believe they do, and some of the online comments said, we support the conditions, I believe one of them said. So staff's
That's correct,
interpretation
yeah.
is that they do. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gorman. I'm sorry, Mr. Price, do you have any more comments? That's it. Let's see. So I do actually have a question to either one of you gentlemen, to Mr. Gorman or Director Strelo. So let's just address really quick the limited amount of cards, right, displayed in the front, right, which is 3. How is that number determined? I'm just curious. And why, let's say, it cannot be 5 or 6?
Yeah, no problem. So first it came into the parking calculation was first looked at, and then you look at the findings for approval, which require that the landscaping not be significantly covered. And so we started with just 2. And then when I'm in conversations with the applicant would send photos, here's how I have them laid out. And just reviewing those photos, the photos may have more than 3, but the ones over 3 were covering landscaping or in a spot that would not be conducive for pedestrian travel. So staff's interpretation, reviewing the materials, was 3 was doable.
Gotcha. So there's absolutely no leeway in that, at least according to our current requirements.
Staff is recommending 3 tonight.
3. Okay, up to 3. Got it. Okay, so a lot of the comments, that were, here tonight and also online were essentially all focused on the noise concerns, right? I just would like to say this. Look, in the city of Oakley, we try to be extremely pro-business. Your livelihood is livelihood of the whole community. We're all interconnected, right? We're certainly excited to have a facility like yours here because, yes, we do need to have facilities for kids, for teenagers, for young adults to go and be able to have recreation. That's what Oakley needs, and that's great. However, look, we also have responsibility to maintain quality of life for all of the residents, right, who live in Oakley, which you have some neighbors pretty close by, right? So I don't think anyone, in all honesty, is against this project. I think actually community is overwhelmingly in support of it, and we're all excited for it. I think the big concern is to just not interfere with people's quality of life, right? I actually wanted to ask you one question, and I did not see it in the report. What are the hours of what are the hours of operation?
So we're 9 to 7.
Oh, 9 to 7. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And that's Monday through Sunday or Monday through
That's Monday through Saturday.
Monday
And
through Saturday?
on Sunday, we were open 10 to 4.
10 to 4. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay. So the current proposal, right, essentially sets 2 conditions, well, amongst other conditions, but 2 that we're talking right now, and specifically the one about noise ordinance, right, is to make sure that this facility is an enclosed facility, right?
The majority of the facility would be open and as the applicant proposed, but specifically the driving.
I'm talking about the driving range right now.
Yes, I'm with you.
It has to be enclosed,
That is
correct?
the proposed condition by your staff here.
Okay, so from my understanding, staff already discussed this proposal, those conditions with the applicant. And if you could please approach the dais. I'm just curious, if we today approve it as conditions, would you be able to
Yes,
continue on with the project, right?
Yeah, I just don't have what I envisioned, but I understand that it could inconvenience other people, right? The ball is being hit.
Right.
And if it's got to be enclosed, it doesn't really affect my business. It
Right.
costs me money, and it affects my vision of the business. But it doesn't destroy it. It doesn't water it down. If anything, some of it will make it a little better because it'll be completely indoors as far as, so when the wind's blowing like crazy and it's raining like crazy, all I have essentially is just 3 walls. So the weather's still coming in there, right? So it may not be exactly what I want, but it is at the end of the world, and it still will fit with the theme. It still makes it in some ways it'll make it easier and better for me. In some ways, I might not like it aesthetically as much, but you have to give and take in anything.
Gotcha.
So, and I want to keep my neighbors, I don't want I don't want to disturb anybody. I'm here to bring equity to the surrounding area, so I don't want, if my open theme bothered him, I don't want it to.
Right.
So it's fine.
Thank you.
And it's a carport, so it's very easy to add on to it. It's not like it's a real structure where you have to do all these other things. It sits right on top of the dirt. I'll have to basically order another side. So basically what's there, I'll just have to order another one, and they'll put them together, and then I'll have to get some insulation, And then I'll still drape the net because the balls still can't hit the building. Because like you
Right.
said, if it hits the building, it's still going to be loud. So I'll still do the same process, except there'll be what's there now on the other side of it, and it'll be fully enclosed.
Fantastic. Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Again, I just want to commend you on also actually willing to work, not just with us, because, you know, with all honesty, what matters is not people here on the days, but,
Yeah.
you know, your neighbors, right? The
Well, I've
community
always
here.
been a big believer that it doesn't matter what one person or 5 people want. It's what everybody wants.
Right,
That's
and
how
as
things
and
are
as you
set.
see, you're very fortunate because all your neighbors, everyone is overwhelmingly in support of this. We're all so excited to open this business and to make Oakley a greater place, greater community for all of us. So, okay, thank you so much. Okay, if we don't have any more deliberation, comments, questions, Commissioner Krieg, do you have anything to point out, or are you done?
I will move that we adopt a resolution approving the project titled Golf Ball and Practice Facility and Outdoor Display of Golf Carts, Design Review and Conditional Use Permits as conditioned.
All right, so moved by Commissioner Krieg. Do we have a second?
Second.
And seconded by Commissioner Price. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those against say nay. Hearing none, the motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Since we don't have any items on the regular calendar, we will move on straight to the reports. Do we have any reports from the staff? Director Strelo, Mr. Gorman?
Chair, no reports at this time. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Thank you so much. Do we have any reports from the commission members? No report. Commissioner Price, you did not attend one of your... It was canceled. Got it. Transplant, that's right. Thank you. Do we have any further, future requests for the agendas? Upcoming agendas? Hearing none. Fantastic. Nothing on the work session. Again, I would like to thank all the members of the public who are leaving right now and who are here with us all through the evening. Thank you so much. We will have YouTube recording available, right? Because members of the press were asking about it. Okay, that's great. And I would also like to commend our staff for doing always excellent job, and thank you for trying to fix our technical difficulties. You're all amazing. Thank you again. And this meeting is adjourned at 7:50 p.m.